one how to profit off of greed. Right. This way, madam. Please make yourself comfortable. But why don't we have a chat before we begin? Tell me more about your dear husband. There. Yes, bless his poor soul. In the modest sitting room with curtains open to the afternoon sun, the widow perched like a shadow in the arms of a plush velvet seat. With her veil pulled back from her head, delicate fingers clutching the handkerchief she brought repeatedly to her large, sorrowful eyes, she made the perfect image. Picture perfect. Of the poor grieving soul that the gentleman sitting before her so often received. A poet might have described her glistening eyes as deep pools of wretched misery, or oceans that had no end. But Arthur Hope was not a poet. His only observation about the woman's face was his hope that she wouldn't burst into tears during the sitting. Arthur made his living off of grief, of course, but dealing with the grieving was a rather tiresome facade of his profession. As the widow went on about her poor deceased lover, his gentle and charitable nature, and so on, he carefully prodded her, now and again, about the man's general features, forming an image in his head of how to best shape his next creation. Young man with a lion's mane, bright hair, average height, deep set eyes. I'm sure I have a plate matching that description somewhere. Good thing I had that wig handy. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I have a real picture to take first. There are so many things I wish I had said to him. Oh, he told me not to worry, but I'm sure he was a wonderful man, madam. So sorry once again for your loss. You know, I always told my clients I could never guarantee when my camera might capture a spirit. But today I feel almost certain he might be in the room with us. Why don't we take your picture now and see for ourselves? Yes, of course. Make yourself at home. I'll be right back. Century your subject within the frame. Am I supposed to do it? Oh. Why is it upside down though? That should leave enough space to add the spirit. Okay. I'm ready to begin. Please stay still until I tell you when the exposure is complete. Ah, yes. If you're there, my darling, please show yourself. Please. Arthur Hope hadn't always been a charlatan. Once he had been Artie, a shy and painfully honest boy with angelic blue eyes and a limitless imagination. He spent every chance he could in his uncle's library, losing himself in tales of monsters and terror. They were never so frightening as the real world around him, you can honestly say. Honestly, however, would rather turn out to help him. Honesty had not stopped his uncle's cane, nor his withering looks. It did not protect him from his schoolmates' vicious pranks, nor impress the teachers. Gray, hollowed men with thinning hair and thick spectacles at the various boarding schools had always inevitably sent him back home. It hadn't always been his fault. One had simply closed due to an unfortunate scarlet fever outbreak. No, it was a liar's world, and by the time Arthur Hope first found himself behind the lens of his late uncle's sliding box camera, he built well, if not a kingdom of lies, then at least a barony. At just shy of 30, his schemes had brought him an unsteady income in the regard of a handful of influential friends, few of whom knew his background or how much he truly borrowed from them. Arthur's uncle had taken up photography late in his life, and having no family save for his troublesome nephew, had left the young man the aging house he turned into his studio along with a small fortune in equipment after his death. Arthur had little interest in the profession beforehand, but even he could not resist the allure of a burgeoning technology that was so much like magic. Capturing light through a mechanical eye, preserving an image of the world a single moment at a time. It was something just like the tales of mystery he grew up on. The ability to capture his own likeness was, of course, its own draw. He had a fair face, he was not shy to admit. It would like a reminder of it should he ever have the misfortune of living a long life. Carefully, he slid the plate holder out from the camera's wooden frame. A pile of discarded glass plates and blurry album prints sat on the table beside him, the fruits of his earlier attempts. I have a good feeling about this one. Let's get you to the dark room, shall we? It was as the first print formed in the early afternoon sun that Arthur Hope saw his uncle's ghost in the frame beside him. Cool. Spirit caught on camera. Sorry, I'm in the way. Spirit photography. Man behind. I don't know if can I move that. Oh, I can. Yeah, spirit caught on camera. Photographer captures ghostly images. Ghost photographs shock world. Spirit photography, the man behind the camera. Are spirits all around us? Ghost photographer Arthur H. Hope claims to have the answer. Okay, let's move that. Unless we're supposed to... No, we're not supposed to do that. No? Okay. Maybe the actual picture. Oh, the picture? I don't know. It was only after a sleepless night of waiting for a spirit to accost him, then furiously rifling through his uncle's equipment, that he realized he'd made a simple and perfectly ordinary mistake. For the photographic plates have to be cleaned very thoroughly to remove any imprint left behind by a previous negative. Arthur, an amateur, had not done so. Thus, a trace of one of his uncle's self-portraits remained on the glass plate he used for his own. But the fact that the image had lined up so perfectly was nothing short of a miracle. A miracle that sparked the idea of a brand new lucrative story in Arthur's mind. Lying to people that their loved ones are next to them by not removing a previous picture to place their picture over that one. Yeah. Tim, my darling, I knew you were with me all this time. I guess it helps with grief, but morally is it... I don't know if it's morally the best thing to do. Thank you, Mr. Hope. Thank you. You look so peaceful. I don't know what to say. Overwhelmed, the widow began to sob. Arthur patted her back gently. I can earn more if I make them come back for a sitting or two before I give them a spirit. But God, I felt sorry for her this time. I'm growing soft. Not at all, Manna. It brings me joy to know you have a guardian spirit watching over you even beyond the grave. I can be at peace now, thanks to you. Please take this. She handed him a stack of crisp banknotes, far more than the agreed upon sum. I can't possibly, madam. I insist. Not a bad use of time after all. Part 2. Portrait of a Girl. Late in the evening, a knock came at Arthur's door. The widow had been his last appointment of the day, but it was all too common for unwanted visitors to arrive long after closing. Sometimes it was the press, sometimes an angry septic, sometimes a wretched, grieving soul who would beg for his not clarity, but charity. Arthur? We do have, I believe, 4 endings with this. I'll try to see if I can get them, but if not, then it is what it is. But we'll head for the door. Arthur crept down the stairs to the entryway of the old house and quietly approached the door. He carefully looked through the spy hole. Stood there in the rain was a girl. She didn't seem to have an umbrella or a raincoat. It's a miracle she wasn't drenched thoroughly. Perhaps she arrived by carriage. But Arthur hadn't heard one approaching, and none were stopped in the street. 3 taps. Once more she rapped on the door. Arthur wondered how long she'd been standing there. He decided to let me say, don't do that. Open the door. See how this goes. With some hesitation, Arthur swung the door open. Can I help you, miss? In the gloom of the rain, lit with only the light coming from the hall, the young woman was surprisingly lovely. She looked about 20, with a face so fair she could have been a porcelain doll. Not for the deep brown eyes that stared with such vivid intensity from behind her dark lashes. Locks of her chestnut hair spilled from her bonnet, trimmed with wide ribbons and silk roses. Her gown was made of a rich green satin and fine white lace, and looked expensive, yet at least a decade out of style. The girl clearly came from money, but it seemed that she or her guardians had dated taste, which is not an issue. I mean, nothing wrong with classics. Are you the photographer? Her voice was soft but did not betray any nervousness. Her brown eyes stared right at him, almost. Arthur felt straight through him. Well, yes, but my friends call me Arthur. I don't want to become your friend, sir. Damn. But if you are indeed who you say you are, then I require your services. Make a demand straight away. Definitely a rich lass. Perhaps even highborn. In that case, best to hear her out. What can I do for you, miss? You're a photographer, are you not? I need you to take my picture. I'd be happy to make an appointment with you, miss, but I can't guarantee a spirit will appear. I don't want anyone or anything else in the photograph. I just need my picture taken. A likely story? She wouldn't be the first to ask for a simple, ordinary sitting while secretly hoping for a ghost to appear. Well, I'm fully booked for quite a while. I'd be happy to arrange a sitting. You have no one with you now, so why can't you take my picture? This is by appointment. Damn. Miss, it's late. Lamplight makes for a poor image, and I have to wait until daylight to make the print in any case. Might I emphasize how inappropriate it is for a young lady to call upon a man uninvited after dark? Please. One picture. That's all I ask. Please. I've waited so very long. I should. I'm gonna hear her out. Can at least ask why you need a photograph so badly. There's somebody I must send my picture to. somebody who I haven't seen in a very long time who needs to see how I look now. How I've changed. There are plenty of other studios that could accommodate you. None of them would open their doors to me. None of them are like you. There truly is nobody in this world like you, sir. Well, if there's anything I can't resist beside a large purse, it's flattery. And let's admit it, a sweet face isn't an easy one to refuse. Being around sobbing fools all day really has turned me soft. Fine. You convince me. Please step this way, Miss Edith. Okay, Edith the demanding girl. Edith Harper, the demanding girl. Alright. Can I offer you any tea? None, thank you. Please, can we hurry? Please, can you stop being so demanding? As you wish. See, that's why I can't. Oh boy, let's see. Is she not centered? I still hear her right there. No. I mean, obviously that's not it. We'll need more candles. I can't get an image like this. Now it was awfully inconvenient. You could have come by during daylight, you know. Hello? Where is she at? Don't tell me she's a... Where did she go was correct, because she's not there. Are you ready yet? Yes, we can begin now. Just come over me. First I let some arrogant, ill-mannered girl walk over me like a carpet. And now I'm seeing things. $59, $60. Done. You can move now, miss. Is that all? Good. I'll go prepare the plate now. But again, you have to come back tomorrow for the print, Miss Harper. I open that. I'll visit you at the same time tomorrow evening. Good night, sir. Wait. Oh, no, don't auto. Don't auto that, no. You let her go, but yeah, don't auto that. Alright, never mind. See you tomorrow, then. So regarding his protest, she slipped from the room, through the entryway, and out of the front door into the rainy night. She even asked to borrow an umbrella. Damn it. I forgot to discuss payment too. Hopefully she brings enough for her tomorrow. Now, I have to get this place ready before it drives. But we'll play it ready after it drives, before it drives, but after that, perhaps I'll retire early. It certainly has been an interesting night. Truly. At night, Arthur Wolf had strange dreams. Part 3, Phantoms. A chill wind rocked the house, rapping against the walls. Figures crept around the edges of Arthur's vision, flickering like flames, hovering like moths. The weight covered his entire body. He could not shift or twist his limbs. The lake engulfing him felt like earth packed with stones. Heavy. Cold. Damp. Something wriggled under his clothes, creeping up his neck, over the side of his cheek, into his eye sockets. Then it crawled into his open mouth, flared down his windpipe. He tried to scream, but not a sound came. His jaw was locked in place, his lungs were still. More withering things engulfed him, eating at his flesh, digging between his bones. Arthur jerked violently out of bed, gasping. Cold air filled his lungs, bringing him back to the waking world. He rubbed his eyes, struck a match, and lit the candle at his bedside table. Cold air filled his lungs, bringing him back to the waking world. The flame danced. He lifted it gingerly in the dark. I'm sure I already repeated that. I had to step away for a second, so I cut the other part out. No use trying to go back to sleep after that. With the demanding girl Edith. Or like no nightmare. Or at first, then I head to my study and read. Oh no. I won't say what, I will just leave. Tap, tap, tap. The noise rang out in the dark. Arthur listened. Sure, it must be the rain on the roof of a shutter against the windows. Tap, tap, tap. The sound was way too close to come from outside. No, it was more like footfalls, the creaking of a floorboard. Good Lord, did someone break in while I was asleep? Quietly, Arthur reached beside his bed for the familiar weight of his uncle's cane. Then carefully, cautiously, stood up. God, you want me to look? Yes, no. Oh, I can't go back. A burglar is nothing. Feel worse? Yeah, no big deal. Still nothing. It's pounding in my chest. So thanks to that blasted dream. Hello? I know you're there. Come out. Whoever you are, whatever you are. Nothing. Did I imagine it? I'm sure I heard a sound. Dunk. Dunk, dunk, dunk. Sound came again, but thicker. Heavier. Clunking along the wooden floorboards. Arthur continued through the house. Heartbeat growing faster. Louder. More erratic with every step. His grip never left the hefty weight of the wooden cane. I'll teach you never to lie to me again, boy. Who? I didn't. I swear it. Then who left it out in the rain? The book was worth more than your sorry hide. But the cane seemed to grow heavier in his hand. Then warmer. then white hot, like a flame. Arthur jerked and dropped it from his hand. It landed on the floorboards with a thud. He brought his searing hand to the candlelight. It was burned straight through the bone, leaving ruined, melted flesh on his blackened skeleton. Fire engulfed his body. His skin melted from his flesh, crisping and charring. He let go of the candle, screaming. The tiny flame licked at the wood and set it alight. Everything turned to smoke and fire and dust. Arthur tried to run and scream again. The black smoke filled his lungs. His body felt like it was buried in earth. Hot, burning earth. Nothing was left of him now but bones and ash. And then there was nothing left at all. Nothing but darkness. And then the sound of that inferno came. Well, it does sound. Arthur Hope's remains curled up on the floor, withering like an insect, uttering pitiable, choking cry that sputtered into rasping gas. There, as he lay on the floor, in the corner of his eye, blurry, barely visible, like a photographic negative, an afterimage, a phantom. A figure stood, ghostly white. Part 4, Portrait of a Ghost. So did we die or just pass out? Arthur Hope awoke at dawn in his bed. He lay silently, heart still racing as a faint ruby light traced his face. He breathed in, then out, and then out, slowly, until his heartbeat steadied. Then he gingerly sat up and rubbed his eyes. I haven't had dreams like that since the old man. Well, not in a long time. He felt beside his bed, the weird, terrible weight of that old wooden cane resting in the same spot it always did. A quiet look in the mirror as he dressed confirmed that his body and skin remained intact and unburned. And he was none the worse for wear, save for a dark shadow blooming around his eyes. That morning he skipped his usual ritual of the paper and crept up to his study, unearthing a pen and ink and an old journal from his drawer instead. Mere old handwritings and scribbles peeked out from the pages. And why am I so shaken up that I return to this? It's a shame no one's invented a camera that can capture dreams yet. But suppose then there'd be no need for poets. And hours passed by, yet the previous night had left him in such a daze that it was only after he sent off a tearful client in the late afternoon that Arthur remembered the strange girl and her odd request. Damn it, it's cloudy out. There should be enough light to get a print. Arthur carefully set the glass plate in the printing frame, secured a sheet of albium paper against it, and closed the case and set it by the windowsill. Now to let it sit. It was as the last rays of the sun faded, Arthur Hope pulled the image from the frame and stared straight into the face of a corpse. Huh. The negative looked fine when I put it in. Next was in onto the wrong plate. But none of my ghosts look like this. That girl, Edith, she must have tampered with it. But why? What does she want with me? She's back. Camille rapidly came at the door. Arthur stared at the doorway with a sick feeling in his chest. Either he answered the door or no, he certainly did not. We're gonna answer it just for store purposes. Arthur stomped to the door and flung it open, without the questions and accusations on his tongue. You left this flame, Miss Harper. This isn't. Nobody was there. No girl in green satin. Not a single soul. Arthur gritted his teeth and turned away. Why are you so upset? The girl who stood in his sitting room wore no bonnet or day dress. Dirt and soil and damp, dark stains clung to her bare feet and rotted, ruined nightgown. Her skin clung to her flesh in patches, pieces of it eaten away and rotted to the bone. Her long hair was matted in thick tangles. Her eyes were gaping hollows. Someone of your profession certainly startled easily. Miss Harper? What do you want? This isn't funny. Certainly not. I'd like my photograph, please. What kind of trick is this? You're a ghost photographer, are you not? Isn't that why you agreed to take my picture? You're a ghost? You expected me to be among the living? Well, perhaps proper introductions are in order. My name is Edith Emmeline Harper. I died in an accident 11 years ago. I'll spare you the details, but I'm sure I found it rather upsetting that my body still hasn't been discovered. So when I heard about you, I decided to take matters to my own hands. Do you want me to believe any of this? Is this new to you? I thought you were more of the worldly type. See for yourself, then. Edith reached out toward him. Arthur jerked back, but the girl did not flinch. She gently lifted a filthy hand to his face. Arthur waited for the feeling of rotten flesh, but the girl's skin was smooth and cold. Ice cold. Far too cold and still to belong to something living. As her bony fingers lingered on his face, he felt his own skin grow colder, tingling until it felt like something was crawling beneath it. That's enough. Fine. You're dead. So, what does a ghost want with me then? I want you to send a photograph to my brother. Stupid fool thinks I ran off with some man. Me elope? Honestly. Tell him to look for me near the old chapel where we used to play. Don't you tell him yourself. Why haunt me? Very few people can see or hear ghosts, Mr. Hope. And of them, well, let's just say that few murderers end up as professional photographers. What did you say? There's only one thing in common between the people who could see or hear you, Mr. Hope. They all killed before. Part 5, a mental obituary. Arthur Hope wasn't always a charlatan. Once he'd been a penniless young man struggling to make an honest living, and often he had to supplement his income through other means. When one day a letter arrived for him from his elderly uncle, requesting his assistance around the household due to the old man's ailing health. Young Art packed his belongings and headed to what he hoped would be a welcome reunion. That hope would quickly be dashed. I never killed anyone. I didn't kill him. I didn't mean to. He had half a foot in the grave already, so I didn't. Arthur. I just wanted to scare him. He deserved that much. He treated me like dirt my entire life. And then when he called me to a sick bed, I thought maybe he apologized to me just once. But no, the old man wanted to cut me out of his will. Me, his only flesh and blood. Just to spite me. He knew that I had nothing. He knew that the money was the difference between life and death, but all he wanted was to spit in my face at the end. What else could I have done? Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Look at you. You're alive, aren't you? As long as you're alive, you can change. You can claw yourself out from whatever hell you've built. It's only us ghosts who have to be stuck in the past. Yet you've been haunted all this time, haven't you? It's done. I signed it in your name, so he'll be sure to open it. Thank you. Dr. Hope carefully placed the sealed envelope into his coat pocket and dusted himself off. The possessions, most of the things that belonged to his uncle, or that had been sold or given away. Pale daylight filtered through the curtains onto an almost empty room. House felt like a ghost of itself. George picked up his own worn leather suitcase, packed with the few belongings he'd first arrived with long ago, and checked that the envelope was still in his pocket. Then he walked down the empty hall. He stopped when he saw the familiar shape of the wooden cane resting against the wall. He briefly picked it up, feeling its weight, ran his fingers along its aged surface, then sighed and set it down again. He walked out the front door without looking back. A figure only he could see trailing behind him. What will you do? Start over. Or try to. I need time to sort out all my messes. Come away from here. Not like I have anything tying me to this place. I do wonder, though. If ghosts exist, why didn't the old man never haunt me? Perhaps he had no reason to stay. Ghosts aren't eternal. They fade away just like people do. Like I will, too, is what it sounds like she wants to say. After exited the post office inside, they walked to the harbor. The air was cool and damp. He carefully stepped over puddles left behind from the rain, weaving between passerbys. They were rushing here, there, without any break in their monotone lives. But at least they were alive. What will you do? Well, I've done for the past decade, I suppose. Wander around, see the sights, watch my brother and my nieces. Wait until I get sick of the living world and see what lies beyond. I see. Well, I guess this is goodbye. Yes, good night at least. Everybody dies, you know. Perhaps I'll see you again sooner than you think. Farewell, Edith. As the ship pulled away from the harbor, Arthur spotted a familiar face amongst the passengers on deck. Mr. Hope, is that you? I am? What brings you here? I'm returning home to see my family. I know my dear Samuel wouldn't want me to be all by myself. What about you? I'm doing some traveling. Oh, just a moment. You have a bit of dust on your shoulder. The young woman's attention was diverted. Arthur deftly slipped a wad of banknotes into her pocket. I wish you all the best, madame. You as well, Mr. Hope. Take care. As the women walked off, Arthur turned and gazed out at the sea. The sky had cleared and the sunlight now sparkled on the crashing waves. He stared out at the shore and thought he could see for a moment. A flash of green standing in the harbor. But the next moment it was gone. Ben. That was good. Early Itchio would be arrested and convicted on fraud charges within the next 5 years. Damn. It seemed he never could change his old habits. He was unable to complete his sentence, however, and his health would quickly worsen. He succumbed to consumption in a matter of months. The last words are supposedly a name. Edith. Coincidentally, it would be a Miss Edith Amy Harper who had compiled the poems he'd written during the short imprisonment and published them posthumously. Yet nobody could figure out, in the end, just how he made his ghost appear in his photographs. Or if they were real all along. Ending 3. Carmen Singh. Well, that was Portrait of a Ghost. I believe there are 4 endings. We got ending 3. I kind of like this ending. I'm not sure if I'm gonna pursue the other ones. If y'all want to, of course, you have all the right to do that. I will put this game in the description. Here are the credits. If y'all are curious about that. Not too much to it. You got the gallery. You gotta unlock ending 4 to view. So there's that. They have war games, and you can also join their newsletter. So I will be putting everything in the description below for y'all to check that out. But with that being said, I'm gonna end it here. So hopefully y'all had a good day, good yesterday, and better tomorrow. And I will catch y'all in the next video.